Well, good morning. I'm Jeff Coleman.
And I'm Deborah Pinkerton. Welcome to Morning Light.
Well, as the Trump administration's peace deal set off celebrations in Gaza and Jerusalem, the tiny, often forgotten Christian minority inside the occupied territories is caught in the middle, unsure what or when to celebrate. We'll check in with the former pastor of Gaza Baptist Church, Pastor Hanna Massad, and our Morning Light panel will respond in just a minute.
But first, here's a preview of what's coming up later in the show. Donating to Kingdom Causes. Faithful Give is a 3-day event that connects generous givers with organizations whose missions are aligned with Christian values. The president of Faithful Give is here. Plus, you will hear from an organization that benefits from this event.
I think it's a sigh of relief for people who want their values to match their checkbook. Exciting what they're doing. Well, following Hamas's release of the 20 surviving Israeli hostages on Monday in exchange for more than 1,900 Palestinian prisoners and detainees, an intricate puzzle of challenges has emerged, many wondering when a resolution will be reached. Once Israeli forces withdrew from key areas, Hamas resumed its reign of terror in many ways in Gaza, conducting executions of anyone showing cooperation with Israelis. So far, the remains of 8 Israeli hostages have been returned. 20, Deborah, remained unaccounted for this morning.
Yeah, just a very difficult time
for
there.
For families, deeply troubling.
Meanwhile, Israel has released the remains of some 90 Palestinians. Both sides are working to confirm the identities. This comes as tens of thousands of Palestinians are returning to the Gaza Strip this week to find their old neighborhoods reduced to rubble. Yesterday, the number of transport trucks carrying food and supplies into Gaza was severely reduced. President Donald Trump already threatening to allow fighting to resume if Hamas fails to honor the deal.
The people on both sides of this conflict have gone through so much. The Palestinians, though, have shown such resilience to go home with no home. It's incredible.
Yes, very war-torn.
But one group not often included in the coverage of is the tiny minority, of Christians, once a thriving community within Gaza and the West Bank. War and ongoing conflict have whittled their numbers to just a few hundred. Yet during the duration of the war, they continued to serve and feed non-Christian neighbors. The former pastor of Gaza Baptist Church compares it to being caught between two fires. Pastor Hanna Massad joins us live this morning from Wilton, Connecticut. And what an honor it is, Pastor and friend, to have you back here. Let me ask you this just to begin with this morning. What have you heard this week from your family, from your friends, and of course your former church members at Gaza Baptist Church? What have they been saying?
Yeah, it's good to be with you, and they're very happy, of course, that the war is over, the nightmare is over, no more danger, no more bombing, so they're very excited. There's no fighting right now, so it's really good news. We've been praying for this moment for the last 2 years, and they also concerned if this peace deal will be implemented, because right now the peace deal really is so fragile. Anything could happen, anything could change. So we continue to pray this peace deal will last.
Pastor, your team on the ground there sent us some footage of what is happening, what it looks like on the ground. These scenes are unbelievable, really, when you look at them. Nothing around. What was it really like for them when the bombing stopped and the troops moved out, and Hamas moves in? What is that practically like? What does that feel like on the ground for families, especially for moms and children?
Yeah, people really able to breathe again, because before, a lot of anxiety, a lot of danger, people are worried, and, people even inside the church compound in the Christian community have been killed. But now things is much better, more promising, and they hope, this will be continue. And also the prices, food prices on the ground is much cheaper, and people now able to move in and out without danger, without bombing. However, Israel forces is still really present 50% of the area in Gaza. So, but also in the same time, there is a settling of scores in Gaza between Hamas and also the people who've been accused and cooperating with Israel. So that's make people really very nervous. Right now in Gaza, there is not much stability, and people are really very concerned.
And we saw over the past couple of days the images, tragic images of people being executed on the streets by Hamas. What happened to the church property in Gaza? A beautiful property. I know it was actually a rebuild of the first church that was destroyed in a bombing. What is the status of your church, and do you expect to be able to preach from there once again one day?
Yeah, the church is still standing, but there is a lot of damage, Brother Jeff, and we don't know if we're really able to repair it or we need to put it down and to start from the scratch. But
what do you mean damage? What does that damage look like?
A lot of damage because it's 5 floors building up on a hill, and different floors, a lot of damage in it, and we really need some consultation from some of engineers in Gaza to see if we're able to repair it or not. But right now, as you know, the church is really the living stones, and even many members of Gaza Baptist evacuated. But Gaza Baptist Church right now, our church on the wheels, we still meet every Sunday on live Zoom with some people from the Christian community in Gaza, and also other Gaza members from around the world. And we able to do that every Sunday morning, 8:30 to 10 o'clock.
We've got about 45 seconds left. I do want to ask you this, though. The message of Jesus that you preach and you hold dear, especially forgiveness and reconciliation, how is that message going to meet this moment? And you've got a small group of Christians there to proclaim that message in Gaza. How does that work?
Forgiveness is not optional for us, it must. And Jesus is our ultimate example in the most difficult moment in his life. Father, forgive them because they didn't know what they do. So because we as followers of Christ experience his forgiveness, we're able to forgive. And because we experience his love, we're able to love. And when we think about how much we've been forgiven, this is the desire of our hearts. Many Middle Eastern Christians, this is the way we want to live, not by the power, not by bitterness by the power of forgiveness and the power of love, because this is really the most powerful tool available for us as his followers.
Pastor Hanna, you are a living testimony to what God can do with a surrendered life, and we're grateful for your friendship, and we'll check back in with you when you go back to the region in a few weeks. I'd like to talk to you live from there as well. And if no one has read your book, Pastor from Gaza, it is an extraordinary testament. It's available on Amazon. I hope our friends will read it and learn more about your ministry. Thank you, Pastor Hanna.
Thank you, Brother Jeff. Blessings.
Well, for some reaction this morning, we invite our morning light panel back with us to give us a little reaction. Gentlemen, it is hard, really, to process what he is saying as he's showing us those images of what's happening on the ground, those trucks rolling in, the dusty streets, those children. What you're seeing on the screen right now, just happening right now, and then the command to love and forgive overriding your human instinct to hate the people who destroyed your home, or to hate the Hamas militants who caused the initial destruction. This is otherworldly, Davis, isn't it?
It really is, and it's hard to even comprehend from our perspective here what they're dealing with on the ground and what these Christians are going through, just focusing on them, because they really are caught in the middle. They're trying to bring the gospel. They're trying to be the light of Christ in a dark place where, years, centuries of violence are at issue. So it's a fascinating thing. But I cannot imagine the one-on-one individual opportunities to share the gospel that are present even in this.
Yeah. When you take everything away. When you're looking at Christians who are caught in the crossfire, and then the politicians talking about it, for Christians, there's really almost no home for them. There isn't a safe place in a political party, one side or the other, because they don't fit anywhere. 600, 700 Christians compared to the scale of it. How do we communicate that to people who are in public office, positions of authority, that we need to care about this group of persecuted minorities because they're the light that's left?
Yeah, I think it is actually recognizing the longevity of that community. It's a tiny community, Absolutely. And that's what it is to be a Christian, because God's grace it overrides our human failures. So our human failures are based on unforgiving. If you said you killed my family member, there's no way I'm going to ever forgive you in my own nature.
I think everybody who's watching is saying that I couldn't do that. I can't do that.
And we can. And it's only through God's grace that we do that. And what I would say is, when we look how ugly war is overall, because even if they have a ceasefire, there's still going to be little factions that are fighting. But ultimately, there's going to be a residue in that area that's going to last multi-generationally. And so we really have to pray for them and pray for God's grace to spill through, because that's the only way that there's going to be healing and reconciliation. Last
30 seconds goes to you. Encouraged, discouraged when you're hearing Pastor Hanna there?
Encouraged. I mean, it is an incredible testament to the power of Christ to work in the lives of people, that there is this faithful remnant there, living their lives, sharing the gospel in unimaginably difficult situations. That's the power of Christ in them, and that should be the encouragement to us.
Everything in me wants to get on a plane today and go hug those people, because those images are so stark, but God's grace is holding them in the midst of trouble, which he'll do for us too.
And for sufficient.
Indeed. Gentlemen, thank you very, very much. Well, coming up on Morning Light, love like Jesus, give and joy, share and bless. The president of Faithful Give is here to share details on how you can help support kingdom causes. You're watching Morning Light right here on Lighthouse TV.
Welcome back. Faithful Give is unique. It's not just another online fundraising drive. It's a community of believers committed to advancing kingdom causes. The president, David Kieffer, is here to explain how you can participate. Thanks for being with us.
It's good to be here, Deborah.
So tell us about Faithful Give.
Well, Faithful Give is in its third year, and we have seen God bless this community giving event beyond what we expected. In our first year, we prayed to raise over $300,000, and we raised $750,000. The second year, we prayed to raise $1 million, and we raised $1.5 million. Faithful Give is designed to bring together generous donors with biblically faithful Christian nonprofits that are either headquartered in Lancaster or serving the community.
And it's taking place this weekend.
Yes, it begins this Sunday, and it will run through Tuesday. We go from midnight all the way through midnight.
And what is the main purpose?
The main purpose of Faithful Give is to celebrate, recognize, advocate for these great organizations just doing vital work throughout our community. I don't know if you know this, Deborah, but Lancaster County is one of the most generous counties, and it has per capita the most nonprofits pretty much across the United States. Wow. And so it is a county of people that are devoted to making their region better, serving those in need, serving one another. And Faithful Give's designed particularly to target people who love God, who love Lancaster, love their neighbor, and just want to make Lancaster the great place it is to live.
Talk to us about some of the nonprofits that are involved.
Well, we have over 100 nonprofits. This year we have 129 nonprofits. Some of them are larger ones that are local, that are well recognized in Lancaster, like Water Street, like Blessings of Hope. Others are national organizations that aren't headquartered in Lancaster but have active ministries in Lancaster, like Young Life, that had a big impact on me in high school, or Fellowship of Christian Athletes, or Bible School. And then others are smaller nonprofits, kind of mom and pop nonprofits that most people had never heard about until they join Faithful Give, and it gives them particularly a platform to share their ministry, to develop prayer, accountability partners, and to be able to share about their needs.
You mentioned Young Life and how it had such a great impact on you. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I grew up kind of going to church, and my mom would drag us out of bed to go, and then when I was about 7th grade, she couldn't force me to go anymore, because I really didn't have a view of God that he was personal. God was sort of a philosophical idea for old people. But Young Life, my Young Life leader came into my life and just showed me that Jesus is a real person. And in fact, he's the most significant person that ever lived in history. And it just sort of captivated my attention. I started asking a lot of questions. I think for the first time, I understood the gospel of grace, and that God loved me no matter what I had done and had come to have a relationship with me. And it radically changed my life.
So just one organization, a faith-based organization that changed your life, and this is what you're doing today. Tell us how Faithful Give benefits these nonprofits.
Faithful Give benefits these nonprofits in multiple ways. Like I said, over the past couple of years, we've been able to raise needed resources, financial resources, but we want to expand people's understanding of generosity. It's not just about giving your money, it's about giving your heart. And so we partner with these organizations to collect their prayer requests, to work with local churches to say, hey, churches, can you come alongside of these organizations? And on Sunday in particular, let's pray for these organizations. Let's cover them in prayer. We also have a prayer breakfast on Monday morning. And so that's one way we can really support organizations. I know I wind up giving my heart to what I pray for. And prayer is powerful. Prayer is what changes people. And so we have those opportunities. And then we also have opportunities for them to share about their ministry at our Celebration and Ministry Expo, what they do, what their needs are. And that's vitally important. So that's going to be on Tuesday, and that's at Dove Westgate Church in Ephrata, PA, from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. And we encourage everyone to come out, learn about these great ministries. There'll be a family night, there'll be free food, there'll be opportunities to help your favorite kingdom cause win thousands of dollars. And then we also give these ministries the opportunity to recruit volunteers. It's a pleasure to see people start to network with one another, share resources, human resources. And then, on our online platform, we target each kingdom cause and say, what type of volunteers do you need? And then they tell us what services they need, what types, and that way we can really target the right resources to the right organizations.
Yeah, and volunteers are essential.
They really are.
Thank you so much for being here and sharing Faithful Give with us.
Thanks for giving me the opportunity.
And the 2025 Faithful Give event, as you just heard, runs from Sunday, October 19th through Tuesday, October 21st. For more information, check out faithfulgive.org. Coming up next on Morning Light, many faith-based organizations do take part in Faithful Give, as you just heard. You will hear from one nonprofit that takes care of the financial stresses of mission groups here at home and around the world. That's next. Stay with us. You just heard about Faithful Give. Now we want to share one of the organizations that benefits from this event. Accounting Beyond Borders strives to help other ministries grow to serve God's kingdom. Joining me is the founder and director, Courtney Weaver. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks, Deborah.
So tell us about Accounting Beyond Borders. Love that title.
Yeah, thank you. So we are passionate about serving the accounting needs of Christian mission organizations. And we also walk with them in ministry. We found early on that many Christian mission organizations don't have access to, or the resources or the knowledge to be able to do the back-end operations for their organizations. They have beautiful gifts from the Lord, beautiful visions that we really love and enjoy coming behind and helping them fulfill.
And tell us how you got involved. This isn't something that was something you were looking to do.
No, it is a testament to the Lord, because I was on a sports ministry trip that I was on very last minute, got a passport the night before, was a new Christian at the time, and sitting on the plane thinking, what am I doing? And the Lord used me in that moment of not having it all together, and very early on, just to say one yes. So the missionary couple in Panama, I was connecting with them at the end of our week, asking how I could serve them going forward, and they shared that their biggest need was accounting support. It was such a burden, they weren't sure they could stay in the mission field. And so I said one small yes that the Lord has since multiplied, and traveled back to serve with them.
Wow, that's an amazing journey. So tell us, how do you help these ministries?
Yeah, so we do everything behind the scenes that people don't see. So we'll do their bookkeeping and accounting records, we'll report to their foreign governments and U.S. governments, all of the things necessary to actually run their organization, to utilize donor dollars and to spend those resources, freeing them up to actually be in their communities, do what they've been called to do, free to dream with the Lord and not have that mental burden anymore as well. And it's a beautiful thing, because it's the way we've been created. The Lord has given us these gifts, and we love doing that piece.
Yeah, certainly would take the burden off of them, just thinking about having to go through the finances and all of that. That is a burden.
Yeah.
Talk to us about some of the organizations that you support.
Yes, so we serve 24 mission organizations right now, operating in about 20 countries. A few of them are stateside, such as Hope Inspire Love, that works in the human trafficking realm through education, awareness, and mentorship. And then we have many overseas that are building special needs orphanages in Panama, and training pastors in rural Chile, and coming alongside youth boys that are living on the streets in Kenya, and helping to disciple and give them education opportunities. And they just built their first larger campus, which we are just so grateful to be able to pray with them through and just be a part of seeing that come to life.
How does Faithful Give help Accounting Beyond Borders?
It's been such a blessing. We've been privileged to be a part of it from the beginning, and it's just such a gift to bring together a community of supporters that are passionate about what we are. It's been beautiful to be able to connect with other nonprofits and just be able to build that community that way. I think often the nonprofit world, especially the nonprofit leadership world, can be sometimes lonely and siloed. And so this is just another beautiful example of equipping the body of Christ to work and move together and really push gospel missions forward.
How do you see that your faith has been strengthened through your journey?
Yeah, so many ways. I think the one thing that I just am constantly reminded of is that the Lord can use even the smallest action. He multiplies things that I couldn't have dreamed of, and he can do so much more than we can ask or imagine. And so he's grown my faith through this process, and just seeing, one, how he's using so many people around the world to fulfill his mission. He calls us into that. He asks us to be a part of that. So it's a joy to be able to see so many people using their giftedness, and for us to use ours, and just build so much trust in the process that he's in control and he's orchestrating all of it.
Wonderful. Yeah. Thanks so much for being with us and sharing your journey with us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
If you are a ministry that could benefit from this nonprofit, you can go to accountingbeyondborders.org for more information. Stay with us. We're back right after the break. Welcome back. Coming up tomorrow on Morning Light, everyone can play a role in fighting for Pennsylvania's most vulnerable children and families. Keystone Family Alliance is here to tell us about their Stand Sunday event. Learn how your church can participate. And that's a look at what's coming up tomorrow on Morning Light. Now, Jeff, your closing thoughts.
I can't wait for that tomorrow, because they do incredible work. Excited for that. Well, sometimes we Christians fight about the craziest things. Every now and then, it's an important disagreement. Christian singer Forrest Frank found himself at the center of this week's mega Christian controversy. Why? Because he decided to skip this year's Dove Awards, the Christian music's industry's version of the Grammys. Mr. Frank says he believes the music God gave him is from Jesus and for Jesus. Interesting. He's not interested in drawing attention to himself. The greatest reward, he says, is salvation. Now, there was a fellow artist out there who finds it a little hypocritical and started attacking him on social media because he still earns money from the music he makes. But all of this entire incident is much bigger than this moment between two artists who both claim to be Christians. All of this is a reminder of our Christian conscience. We have one. We're free to follow it. When we criticize a fellow believer for exercising that conscience, for not doing it the way we do it, we're probably stepping into territory belonging only to God. Nonetheless, Forrest Frank reminds us to work for one reward, the words at the end of our lives, "Well done, good and faithful servant." That's the prize that we're seeking, and that's the prize Forrest is reminding us we need to pursue. I hope to see you at the Greenlight Operation Gala tonight, where I'll be serving as the MC. What important work they do. For Deborah and the entire Morning Light team, I'm Jeff Coleman. Thanks for spending the morning with us. Go check on your neighbors, and we'll look for you right back here tomorrow morning.